Hello. Today I'd like to tell you about an outreach that we did in Paisley many years ago. It was in 1989 and the churches of Paisley got together because there was a forthcoming Billy Graham Livelink event, and we wanted to draw attention to this event, that people in the town would know about it and come to it. I had the privilege of being nominated the ladies coordinator for these different churches, and as we got together we thought, what can we do that would draw attention to this forthcoming event? Well, we know we can make coffee and we can do flowers and different things, so we were just thinking about these things. So I went home, and that night I was sitting up in my bed with a cup of tea, and God took me to Songs of Solomon. And he said, browse in the garden of the lilies, the garden of the roses. And all of a sudden, I got all these gardens coming into my mind. You know, the Garden of Gethsemane, the Garden of Calvary, the Garden of the Tomb, Garden of Resurrection. And I was so excited, and I took it to the ladies. So they were excited too. They thought it was a brilliant idea. And they said, well, you had the vision, so you can direct it. Anyway, within 6 weeks, between having the vision and the actual campaign, God took me to Israel, and he showed me there the types of trees I would need, small trees and these red poppy-like flowers and different things. And I came back and I felt I was to go to the Paisley Parks Department to see if they could assist in giving us background greenery and different plants that would give the effect. And it turned out that the manager of the Paisley Parks Department at that time was actually an ex-neighbour of mine. So he was so helpful, and he gave me far more than we ever asked for, and delivered them in a huge Parks Department lorry to the venue, which was the Central Halls right in the centre of Paisley, across from the Abbey and the council offices and everything that goes on there. So it was wonderful, and the ladies were actually, each garden, we had nominated a particular church for a particular garden. And these ladies even chipped in their own finance too to buy the flowers. We went up to Glasgow flower market, and we got all these gorgeous flowers, and each one took what they needed for their display of whatever garden that they were actually responsible for. This event actually became so well known that over 900 people came within a couple of days, and even the workers from the council offices across the way, they came for their lunch. And we had a cafe in the centre of this very large hall, and we actually raised hundreds of pounds, I think hundreds of pounds, and we were able to give in to the Billy Graham Livelink, you know, to help with the expenses of it. It wasn't our plan, but God saw to it that we had money over and above, and were able to give to the campaign. It was so exciting, and this couple came, one couple came, and he turned out to be a photographer for the royal family in Scotland, and he presented us with a huge album with all the pictures that I'm going to show you of this evangelistic outreach. His name was, he was the late Eric Thorburn from Bishopton area, and him and his wife Liz donated these lovely pictures that I'm going to show you. But I will show you in the next part of this, because this phone of mine tends to cut out halfway through a story and I have to redo it and redo it. So I'm just making this part 1 just now and telling you what's ahead, and I'm going to show you the illustrations of it's called the Inspirational Garden, and Jesus is a key person in every garden. So I hope the next section works okay, part 2 to follow.